Nobody saw this coming.
The Premier League title race has just taken another explosive twist, because while Arsenal continue marching toward what could be their first league title in 22 years, the criticism surrounding them is getting louder, much louder. Managers are questioning their tactics. Former Premier League bosses are attacking their style of play, and rival fans are starting to push a narrative that could follow Arsenal even if they lift the trophy in May. But inside the Arsenal dressing room, they couldn't care less, and Gabriel Magalhaes has just made that crystal clear. After Arsenal's gritty 1-0 victory over Brighton, the conversation quickly shifted away from the result and toward the way the Gunners actually won the match. Brighton manager Fabian Hürzeler didn't hold back. In fact, he went on the attack. Before the game had even kicked off, the German coach had already started raising concerns about Arsenal's tactics. He claimed Mikel Arteta's side were deliberately delaying restarts during matches. Corners, throw-ins, goal kicks. According to Hürzeler, Arsenal were slowing everything down to disrupt the rhythm of their opponents. Then, after the match, his criticism became even sharper. Brighton had just lost 1-0 at the Amex Stadium, but Hürzeler didn't focus on Brighton's mistakes. Instead, he turned his frustration toward Arsenal's approach. His words were brutal. He claimed only one team had actually tried to play football, and he strongly suggested Arsenal's style was damaging the spectacle of the game itself. Those comments spread quickly across English football. Debate exploded. Were Arsenal simply being clever and professional, or were they crossing the line into cynical territory? It's a question that often appears whenever a team gets close to winning the Premier League. Because the truth is simple. Winning the title isn't about entertaining everyone. It's about collecting points. Relentlessly. And Arsenal are doing exactly that right now. Their victory over Brighton didn't just bring 3 points, it widened the gap at the top of the Premier League table. Manchester City had the chance to apply pressure earlier in the week, but Pep Guardiola's side twice surrendered the lead in a dramatic 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest. That result gave Arsenal a huge opportunity, and they didn't waste it. Now the Gunners sit 7 points clear at the top of the league, 7 points, with the finish line slowly coming into view. For a club that hasn't lifted the Premier League trophy since 2004, that number feels enormous. But inside the dressing room, the players are refusing to get carried away. Gabriel Magalhaes made that clear when he was asked about Hürzeler's accusations. His response was calm, direct, and dismissive. He said Arsenal simply don't care about what the Brighton manager thinks. According to Gabriel, the responsibility lies with the referee. If the official believes Arsenal are wasting time, he can give a yellow card. If he doesn't, the game continues. Simple as that. From Arsenal's perspective, they're doing nothing wrong. They're simply managing matches the way every successful team eventually learns to do, and history supports that argument. Think about the greatest Premier League teams. Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. All of them mastered the art of controlling matches in every possible way, not just through beautiful football, but through experience, through game management, through slowing the game down when necessary, through frustrating opponents. Those details rarely make highlight reels, but they win championships, and Arsenal may finally be learning that lesson. For years under Mikel Arteta, critics accused the Gunners of being too naive, too open, too emotional in big moments. They played attractive football, but sometimes lacked the ruthless edge needed to close out difficult matches. That criticism appears to have shaped this version of Arsenal. Now, they are more pragmatic, more controlled, more focused on the result above everything else. Bukayo Saka addressed the criticism after the Brighton win, and like Gabriel, he showed absolutely no interest in the outside noise. The Arsenal star revealed he doesn't even pay attention to the criticism, he doesn't read it, he doesn't watch it, because in his words, it offers no benefit. Instead, Saka says the players remain focused on one thing: winning. It doesn't matter if the goals come from flowing attacks, or set pieces, or scrappy moments inside the box. People will talk regardless. So Arsenal have chosen to ignore it completely, and the numbers show their approach is working. 3 wins in a row, 7 points clear at the top, momentum building at exactly the right moment of the season. But while the title race looks increasingly positive, new debates are emerging around the club. Former Newcastle and West Ham manager Alan Pardew has delivered one of the most controversial takes yet. He believes that if Arsenal win the Premier League this season, there should be an asterisk next to their name. Yes, an asterisk. His argument is based on the way Arsenal have been winning games recently. Pardew described their performances as professional and functional. But he also insisted there is nothing beautiful about their football. In his view, Arsenal are using gamesmanship and control rather than flair and entertainment. To Pardew, that style leaves a question mark over the achievement. It's a statement guaranteed to divide football fans. Some will agree with him, others will laugh at the idea completely. Because ultimately, football history rarely remembers how teams win titles. It remembers who wins them. Nobody places an asterisk next to Mourinho's Chelsea. Nobody questions Ferguson's Manchester United. Nobody discredits Guardiola's relentless champions. Winning erases criticism. And that's exactly what Arsenal are trying to do. But while the first team chases the biggest prize in English football, there are also intriguing developments happening behind the scenes. One of the most interesting involves young Arsenal talent Miles Lewis-Skelly. The 19-year-old burst into the spotlight last season. He made 42 appearances across all competitions. His performances were so impressive that some observers even compared him to Wayne Rooney. That's how highly rated he became within the club. But this season has been very different. Lewis-Skelly has struggled for consistent playing time. Part of the issue is positional. The youngster is naturally a midfielder. That's where he developed his reputation in the academy. But in the senior team, Arteta has often used him as a left-back, and even then, competition has limited his opportunities. Former Arsenal striker Alan Smith believes that situation could lead to a major decision this summer. According to Smith, there is a real chance Lewis-Skelly could leave the club, despite being under contract until 2030. Smith argues the young player may need regular minutes to continue his development, and if Arsenal cannot provide that, other clubs will certainly be interested. It's a reminder that success at the top level often creates difficult choices for young players. When a team is fighting for the title, managers rely heavily on experienced and trusted options. That can leave emerging talents waiting longer for their opportunities, and not every player is willing to wait forever. But for now, Arsenal's immediate focus lies elsewhere, because the schedule ahead is relentless. The Gunners must temporarily shift their attention away from the Premier League this weekend. Their next challenge arrives in the FA Cup, and on paper, it should be straightforward. Arsenal travel to face League One side Mansfield Town, a team operating 2 divisions below them. Matches like this always carry a strange kind of pressure, because the expectation is absolute. Anything other than victory becomes a national story. For Mansfield, this is the biggest match of their season. For Arsenal, it's another step in a crowded calendar. Arteta may rotate his squad. Rest key players. Give minutes to those waiting for opportunities. But even with rotation, the difference in quality should be enormous. If Arsenal handle the game professionally, they should book their place in the FA Cup quarter-finals, and that would keep alive their hopes of a domestic double. But there's no time to celebrate if they do progress, because only days later, another enormous test awaits. A Champions League clash with Bayer Leverkusen. European nights always bring a different kind of intensity, and Arsenal will need to quickly switch their focus once again. Then next weekend brings another Premier League battle. Everton travel to the Emirates Stadium, another match where dropped points could reopen the title race. So despite their 7-point advantage, Arsenal know the job is far from finished. Football has a way of punishing teams that start thinking about trophies too early. Arteta will make sure his players remember that, because history offers plenty of warnings. Leads disappear, momentum shifts, pressure increases. 7 points can feel huge today, and suddenly fragile tomorrow. That's why Gabriel insists the team must remain focused on themselves, not critics, not rival managers, not pundits discussing style points, just the next match, the next performance, the next 3 points. If Arsenal maintain that mindset, they could finally bring the Premier League trophy back to North London after more than 2 decades. And if they do, the debate about their style of football will instantly become irrelevant, because in football, there is one truth that overrides everything else. Winning changes the story. Every single time. So the real question now is simple. Will Arsenal's ruthless, pragmatic approach carry them all the way to glory, or will the pressure of the final stretch expose cracks that critics believe are already there? The answer is coming soon.